What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy, MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage, back again with another Saturday checkup. All right. So I don't know, but it looks like that I'm going to be flying solo because Daryl Smock, I think Daryl Smock ran into some complications. He might be able to jump in. If not, don't worry. I think we've flown solo before. Just got some interesting things that have happened throughout the week that we really haven't touched on too much, but I wanted to talk to you guys about, talk to the members about, and get your thoughts on it. Before we get started though, shout out to the homie Dusty Rand. Well, let me explain the show first, but Dusty Rand puts a great comment out here. I'm about to answer it, and I'm explaining it too for those of you that are watching this Saturday via on demand. This show is where we cap the week of cloud gaming news, and we talk about it here, and then we talk about some other things as well. However, we record this on Fridays, even though this airs on Saturday. For those that are watching it publicly, we record it on Fridays with our members. And within our members recording, you get about anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes of additional content that you're not going to get here on the public viewing. So if you don't want to miss out on the extra content, then definitely hit that join button below and become a member at any level. We know that there's shows on the platform where you have to be a specific member in order to get access to. You can be a member at any level to access Saturday night's checkup live airing, live recording with the members, okay? And in that live recording, I don't want to give too much out, but we were talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. I went and saw that movie this weekend, and I can do nothing but recommend it. And yes, and Charles asked, what's it on Crunchyroll? Yeah, you can go check it on Crunchyroll or VRV. Definitely check it out. I love Crunchyroll. I used to not like Crunchyroll way back when, because there was a what did you call them? A sub team called Databayo. If you guys were back in the torrent days and all that stuff, Databayo that used to sub Bleach and all that other stuff, and Crunchyroll, you know, made them shut down. So, but no, the Crunchyroll service is actually cool. So, all right. With that said, we got some topics to talk about. We definitely do. We are going to talk about Stadia's underappreciated games. We have seen some signs to where Stadia games have really been underappreciated. And is it soon we're going to start getting our flowers over our catalog? I think so. Then we're going to go around the cloud. We're going to talk about what's going on with GFN, with Luna, and Xcloud. So Xcloud made a little bit of buzz today. I really wasn't going to put it on the docket because when you get to the meat and potatoes of it, you go, okay, that's what that is. But we're going to talk about it anyway, because publications, you know, again, they got to get clicks, so they made it seem like it was something special. They put it out there. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to go to our favorite game of vibes, where we talk about what we're excited to play on Stadia, what we're excited to see, and all that other stuff. We're going to get into all that. All right. But with that said, I want to shout out the people. I want to shout out to homie Dusty Rand and anybody else that is watching this live as a member. And again, if you want to, we'll have time for calls if you want to do calls, but we're not going to do them now. I'll put the phone lines up, or you could just leave a comment here in the chat, and we'll do it that way. We are re-engineering, also members, we are re-engineering our Discord, and that's going to go live in the next few weeks. So starting in the next few weeks, there will be a green room. So if you can't call in and you're on Discord, but you have something to say on the show, we will add you via the green room. Okay. All right, cool. So with that said, no further ado, and let me do this. Let's say here, topic 1. Oh, I did that all wrong. Stadia's underrated. All right. Let's do this. Let's talk about it first. Stadia's underrated games. So we always used to hear Stadia ain't got no games, right? Remember that? Remember we used to hear that all the time? Stadia has no game. Oh, no. Let me go back a little bit. There's a couple of things that I gotta let you guys know of. Oh, and I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person because I didn't let you guys know this. All right, so let me go back. Jesus, how could I forget this? How can I forget these? First and foremost, let me show you. Let me show you something. For those of you that are watching this on demand, this Sunday, tomorrow, if you're watching this on demand, we are bringing back the Numbers Show for Stadia. Yes, that is a show that is hosted by Jack Deslip and myself, and where we talk about all Stadia numbers. It's a fantastic show. I know it was a fan favorite, really our most popular show on StadiaDosage. Well, it's coming back. It took a short hiatus, but it's coming back. And for the show's return, we're doing a kickoff extravaganza where, as Jack explains it, here's our next giveaway. We'll be giving funds, Google Play or PayPal, to cover a game, any game on Stadia, to 7 winners. You just need to reply to the below tweet and join the show live to enter, okay? And to be more specific, I tell you, you got to respond in this thread, be subscribed to StadiaDosage, where you're listening to this, and watch the live airing of TNSS Episode 8 on Sunday, and be in that chat. We give you the link. And for those of you that also want to check our video that we put out today, we put out a video that also explains all this as well. So do all that, be there Sunday after doing all that, and you could be one of 7 winners towards your next Stadia game. Now, in addition to that, let's see here. In addition to that, oh, if I can find it. Hold on, profile. There we go. We got another giveaway. Now, this giveaway is going to happen sometime this week, but today at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, we're cutting off entries for this, meaning if you become a new member before 11:59 p.m. today, or 11:59 p.m. Friday, which means if you're a member, you'll catch on to this. If you're not a member and you didn't do it on Friday, you missed it on your opportunity, sorry. But this is the month that we're giving away the Play and Watch with Google TV package. What we do every month here is, for our members, we do a giveaway. The first 2 months of a quarter, we give away a controller. That third month of a quarter, we're giving away a Google TV package or the Premier Bundle Kit. All right. So in order for you to be eligible, you have to be a member. So if you're watching this on demand and you missed out on this one, become a member. All it takes is $1 or $2 in a dream. And to better explain how this all works, if you become a member at the Dosage level, you get 1 entry each month. The prescription members get 2 entries, and the Sure Shot members get 3 entries, okay? You can't beat that with a stick. In return, you get eligible to win a Stadia controller or a Google Chromecast with TV bundle kit, or they call it the Play and Watch with Google TV package. Okay, so I had to put that out there. All right, now let's go back and we can get on with today's show. What were we talking about again? We were talking about Stadia's underrated games. There was a point in time where we heard nothing but Stadia got no games, their games suck, right? And those of us that play on the platform, we know that Stadia has a lot of great games. They may be older titles that people have already played, but like the Switch, they still have appeal because of the charm of the technology or of the platform. And we understood that because we gave it a try. We didn't just listen to IGN or Polygon to tell us what we should like. Well, because of that, people were saying, "Oh, those old games suck." You know what I mean? The only new games you get are Ubisoft games. Like, Ubisoft isn't one of the best-selling multi-plat providers out here, but that's here nor there. And that's what we heard. The old games that you have suck. Nobody wants them. Well, it seems no longer to be the case, as we have two instances to where not only are people upset that they don't have the games that we have, major platform consumers that is, but we actually have a well-known publication giving kudos to games that you can't find on a console, but you can find on Stadia. So let's talk about it. All right, first and foremost, you know how we do. Let me show you something. Let's talk about the angry people. I had a lot of fun with this one. I gotta be honest, because I love this guy, Bloody Nux. He's a great content creator. Definitely follow him and check. I mean, I know he's an Xbox ambassador. He's a lover of Xbox, and you may not be able to relate, but nonetheless, he's still a great content creator. And I know a lot of you guys love Xbox just as much as you love Stadia, so you might be able to relate. But my brother was frustrated over this week. He was frustrated because on the news of Ease 9 being launched in the Stadia Pro, here's what he had to say. He said, "How is it Stadia, a failing streaming platform, Jesus, gets more love from NIS America with getting more of the Ease franchise and Trail series, and yet Xbox doesn't? Please, Sarah Bond," and I don't know, who is this? Jeremy Hitton? Oh, okay, he's the leader for Asia. Xbox, "Can we fix this? These are dear JRPGs that the community is begging for," right? And he he quote tweets. So, you know how we are over in the Stadia camp, man. We're growing in numbers. We're growing in numbers. I mean, you can be misled by headlines all you want. You can believe that old rhetoric that there's only 5 Stadia players. When you put something like this out there and you've actually quote tweeted a significant announcement that the Stadia community adores, you're gonna get a response, and they're gonna come by forcefully in numbers, which they did. I mean, you can just, most of these, 90% of these comments are all addressing our good friend Bloody Nux and telling him why he's wrong. I chimed in as well. I chimed in because, let's see, I can't find my comment for some reason. Let's do this. I don't know why I can't find my comment, but I chimed in because the brother had it all wrong about Stadia and his depiction of the platform. Oh man, look at how many people were chiming in. Golly. Let's see. Here's the thing. Now I think, was it Cheeky Bionic? Somebody responded to him. Now I can't find the tweet. And what's weird is, okay, here we go. All right. This is the one where he, so I responded to him because I let him know that it's not failing. Told him to stay out of the headlines. Showed him to where, via recent surveys, Stadia is actually close to it, half of the streaming activity that's happening out there. again, my brother's a dedicated device hog, meaning that he's focused on dedicated devices. So he made the assertion that, you know, that's the reason why it's like that is because it's just Google and Stadia competing here. I had to let him know, like, no, brother, that's not the case. It's not true. GFN and Stadia are the main competitors in this space. Like, Xbox isn't even close. Phil Spencer, if I heard him right, maybe I didn't, which I doubt. But if I heard him right, on episode 6 of Power On, the Xbox documentary, he said Xcloud or Xbox console streaming gamers engagement was in the thousands. We know GFN has surpassed 15 million. We know Stadia reached 750,000 monthly active users by the end of 2020. And then, as you'll see on Sunday when we do the number show for Stadia, that Xbox isn't even vying. They're not even battling for a space here at this moment. It's not even close. Like, they're at the bottom with Amazon right now. So it's really GFN and Stadia that are the top two honchos when you look at cloud gaming engagement. So, and I picked on Cloud. I picked on Bloody because I know him, but he's a great guy. I picked on him though, but he's not the only one. Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. People were very, very angry and emotional about the fact that this game is available on Stadia, which was available on Stadia since last year, by the way. That's the sad thing about it. Here, let me use, this is a great tool, and I love this tool. Stadia Wiki. So this will show you all the games that came to Stadia. And Ys 9 Monstral Nux didn't come till June. So this game has been here since June of 2021. You've done all this whining and crying as an Xbox gamer, and I don't mean just Bloody. I mean, I'm talking generalistic now. As an Xbox gamer, you've done all this whining and crying. Oh, I can't play this game. I don't want it on a service where it's online. Where if you would have booted it up in June and just played the damn game, you would have beat it by now. It being online or anything like that would have had zero effect on you. Because the same amount of internet that you use to play Fortnite online is the same amount of internet that you can use to play this game online, right? So, and the compression just keeps getting better and better from Stadia on this, so you need less and less internet, and it's doing more and more things with it, right? So that's the crazy part about this, is that they could have been played this game and been done with it, and had the great experience as a gamer. See, here's my thing where this is all interesting, and they call us fanboys and stans when we're just truth tellers of the tech, and we just want the truth to be exposed. As much as I love Stadia, if I see a game that I really, really want to play, I'm not going to, like, if I feel like I gotta play this game, despite the Stadia amenities, because there's times where I'll see a game that I do want to play, but I'm like, I'd rather experience it on Stadia. I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a game to where it's like, damn, I would love to experience it on Stadia, but I'm upset about waiting. Waiting isn't an option. I'll give you an example, Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 is on Stadia, but it's only at 30 frames per second. That's not gonna fly. So I played it on PC. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? But Dying Light 2, I've said this, I want to play it on Stadia, but I'm willing to wait to play it on Stadia. I ain't gotta play it day one. I really didn't get into the first Dying Light day one. But there was just certain games that if they were to come out, I'm not gonna like. I'm gonna give you an example. The new Justice League game, and that new the Batman with, was it Batwoman and Robin, and those two games. I gotta play them day one. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm playing them day one. That's when my gamer, MM2K, you're a gamer before anything kicks in. So I'm hoping that Stadia gets those games. I'm hoping that the low charge porting extends out to those type of AAA developers. But if not, that's okay. I have a PlayStation 5 and I have a powerful PC. I would prefer, with Stadia's frictionless nature, to play it there. But if not, that's when the gamer gear kicks in and I play it wherever I can. And here's what people like Bloody and all of them, I gotta ask you guys, which I think we already know the answer. Are you really an enthusiast of JRPGs? Or are you a Xbox gamer who happens to like JRPGs? That's what you got to ask yourself. Like, I'm not like, I don't play as many games as these guys do. But what I am a fan of is JRPGs. I will buy a system over a JRPG. I bought a PlayStation originally to play Ni no Kuni. Then I returned it because I think I found out I could get it on PC or something like that, or get it somewhere. So if you're a connoisseur of JRPGs, you're gonna play the JRPGs no matter where they're at. Like when it comes to your other games, yeah, you know, you pull out your Xbox flag. But when it comes to JRPGs, you're gonna play them wherever they're at because you're supporting the dev and you're supporting the effort. And if it wasn't worth the effort, the dev wouldn't have put the game there. And I feel like we got a lot of people. And this may not go over well, and I might actually get hit up. My brother might call me up and say, yo, hey Moss, why is you tripping, bro? Why are you doing this? I get that often, but I gotta tell the truth. I take offense as a JRPG lover of someone who says, I'm a JRPG lover, but I refuse to play it on this platform. Why? Why? Like, if it's all about having the physical copy, you can buy a physical copy for the Switch or the PlayStation just to have. Really support the dev if you gotta have a physical copy. But if it's all about you playing the game, play it on Stadia. It plays just fine. And especially if you're a streamer where you've had to invest in the internet, don't give me that crap about playing on the, you don't want to play a game on the internet. You're making you living off the internet. You're living off of basically streaming games through the internet. Don't give me that garbage. I'd love to have my brother Bloody here live on air. It'll be a great conversation because he's a very smart guy. But I want him to tell me to my face that he truly, I don't want to play a game on, I mean, where does he say that crap at? I don't want to play a game on, that's my issue. I don't want to play a game on the internet. Like, don't give me that crap. Don't give me that crap. It's garbage. Let me see if I can find this. This garbage excuse. Wish I could, hold on, can I find it? Well, first here he says, bro, this is why I try to be the voice for the Japanese community here. I am not the mad dragon of Xbox and Japanese enthusiasts for a reason. All we got was the port. See, you can't, both can't occupy the same space at the same time, bloody. If you're a Japanese enthusiast, you know the difficulties in the international process of bringing over the games and stuff like that. You go where the games are at. If you're an enthusiast, you're happy like people like, oh, what's the guy's name? He's I forgot, the RPG, I think he calls himself RPG King. You're happy to see the game wherever you can get it at. You want it to be everywhere. You're fighting for it to be everywhere. And yes, you are fighting for it to be accessible on Xbox too, but that doesn't stop you. You go wherever it's at. Yeah, I gotta get my brother on the phone because this is malarkey. This is malarkey. You can't be the grand dragon of Xbox and a Japanese enthusiast. That's an oxymoron. That's like me saying I'm the biggest vegan in the world who loves smothering my vegan ribs in pickled pig juice. You can't be a Japanese game enthusiast, but settle solely for Xbox. Because most of the Japanese games, they don't work with Xbox. So it's cool you like Xbox and you would like to unify those two causes. But you as an enthusiast, they can't be on the same plateau. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a gamer before anything. If there's something that I have to play, that's what I have my PC for, that's what I have my PlayStation for. And when even if I was happy with Xbox, that's why let me explain something to y'all. And I would love to have this conversation with my brother. I'll reach out to him. We have a great conversation. Maybe we'll do it here. We'll do it on MM2K Videos channel. I used to hate PlayStation. I hated PlayStation when the day that me and my aunt were sitting there years ago. I was living with my aunt. It's mid-90s or something like that when the PlayStation came out. I was a teen. It was like 16 or something like that. PlayStation came out and I just thought it was gimmicky because the way it was introduced was, yeah, your mother and your grandmother can play. And I used to think to myself, no, I don't want a world. I was young. I was like, I don't want a world where my grandmother and my mother can play with games with me. We don't have the same taste. And trying to commercialize gaming the way that Sony was talking about doing, and they have successfully years later, where we're at because of Sony, their commercializing of gaming to me was a detriment to gaming. It was going to water it down. It was going to take the badassery away from it. So I've hated PlayStation for that for years. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I really started thinking of PlayStation in a positive light. Because PlayStation finally, in my eyes, even though they were big on getting some badass games, don't get me wrong. It was always to me that their numero uno goal was to turn gaming into some pop culture. And I'm not big on popularizing anything. I'm not a pop culture enthusiast. I'm not. I felt the same way about anime. That's why I feel like anime has taken a dip. And thank God for shows like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan that is bringing it, roping it back in and getting it out of this emo, silly stuff. I could go on and on and on and on about this stuff. But it wasn't until recently that I thought fondly of PlayStation, because I started to see PlayStation walk and chew gum at the same time. They were maintaining themselves as the pop culture icon as they were, but then they were focusing on bringing the AAA hardcore, kick-ass games, not in just aesthetics, but in gameplay as well. It's always been my issue with them. But in gameplay as well, that I used to get from Xbox. So they were maintaining both. They were maintaining a balance, and I said, I appreciate that. But even with my disdain of PlayStation way back when, I've always had one. Why did I always have one? Because they had all the JRPGs! I don't know. All I will say is that Ease 9 plays fantastic on Stadia. What Stadia is doing is creating gaming brothers that could be me. People that at work that I know couldn't afford to game but wanted to game. That's why they was always lurking around when I was having my game conversations, and they would just throw the snarky stuff out here. And then when I was sitting with them one-on-one, it was because they were putting kids through college and they couldn't afford, so I had to go give them consoles and games. What Stadia does is it takes out that embarrassment that that person probably had to feel, that a colleague at work had to bring in some games in order for him to afford to do something that he's passionate about. Stadia now puts it in your hands and makes it easy for you to enjoy them. Okay? Which I think, as far as gaming is concerned, that's the one thing that I love that Stadia is doing, that is kind of, I don't want to say popularizing games. It's not doing that. It's just increasing access. That's one thing about JRPGs that I didn't like. I know people like the thrill of searching on the internet and paying $800 to get the Japanese port sent over and all other stuff. I just want to play the game, and it should be accessible to me if I got cash in hand. And that's what Stadia does. So whatever your gripe is against Stadia, whatever, I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. But if you're a Japanese game enthusiast, then you should be on board with other Japanese enthusiasts, game enthusiasts, getting easier access to these games. I don't know what's going on at Xbox and why they don't have the relationships established. You got to deal that with them. But if you want to be the Japanese enthusiast, then you are happy that access is increasing for these games. It'd be different if Stadia was taking portions of the game out, if the game was playing horribly, they were presenting it in a bad light. No, they are making access easier, and they're even doing it in a fun way of dropping it into Stadia Pro. So if you have a subscription service, you get access to it. You cannot be a flag waver for Xbox or any singular platform, even PlayStation, where most of you can't be a flag waver for one singular platform and at the same time be an enthusiast of people getting access to Japanese games as great as they are. They both can't take up the same space at the same time. So that's the paradox that my brother is dealing with, and I can't wait to sit here and talk to him about it. We'll do it one-on-one. Bloody can hold his own. This is not going to be a one-sided affair. It's going to be a great conversation. It's not going to be a one-sided affair. I'm not going to overcome Bloody. Bloody can hold his own. But I'm right now While he's not here, I'm talking about him behind his back. No, that's my brother. I'm saying it right here, right now. It's an oxymoron to say I'm the Xbox Mad Dragon and I'm the Japanese enthusiast for a reason. So that's how I feel about that part. It's interesting to see, but it doesn't make sense. It's very contradictory of itself, and I'd love to see my brother have a conversation with me about it. All right, the next thing I'm going to talk to y'all about is that GameSpot dropped this 11 of the best games that you probably missed in 2021. And here they go. Shout out, let me go shout out to the chat though, real quick. Dusty Aran says, do they like games or do they like the box? Hey, Dusty, I see where you're going with this. You talking that Justin Timberlake in the box? Hey, is you going there, Dusty? I don't know, bro. I can't relate. That's why I need my brother here. I can't relate. I'm gonna have to stop being sleazy and talking about him behind his back. And I'm gonna reach out to him and I'm gonna say, "Yo, Bloody, can we have this conversation?" I can't relate, bro. Like Stadia is and I get it. Bloody takes his stance to where he really don't like corporate conglomerates getting into things, but that's what the hell Microsoft is. I don't care what face they put on the screen and how smiling with a limbo shirt. They're all greedy conglomerates behind the scenes. Like there's news on a whistleblower. A whistleblower on Microsoft that Microsoft's been bribing foreign entities for years. There's that report out there. It was reported by all people Tom Warren of The Verge. Ain't none of these companies' hands clean. They're all corporate conglomerates. We can find stories on all of them. I don't care if you put somebody out here in some type of smiley aesthetic. And what Stadia is doing is presenting an opportunity for people that normally wouldn't have access to games. Now they can access them and enjoy them. If I'm an enthusiast of anything, that's making me happy. They're not watering down the product. They're not changing the dialogue or the subs in the game. They're making access easier. I'm all for it. But you can't put your desire for a singular platform and your desire of growth of an overall genre, they can't be equivalent. It doesn't work. Shout out to my brother Bloody Nuts. Des also says, seriously, I don't get this. Oh, well, it's on Stadia mentality. Psalmist Pro says it's gamer's pride. Yeah. Sounds like he wants his cake and eat it too. Absolutely. That's my argument. No, what I mean is, do they like the games or the console? Well, you get it, Dust. You get it. It can't be both. I can't be an enthusiast of I can't put on the same level, rather, my enthusiasm of the spread of great Japanese content and put on the same level my enthusiasm for Xbox. Because if that's the case, I want them everywhere. I don't care if they're on Stadia. I'm saying, I'm going to Xbox. I'm saying, okay, we see them on Stadia. Now, when are you going to follow through? And even as a gamer, if I know that I can play the game on my Xbox, I'm playing it. There's a lot of these games that I've paid hundreds of dollars for to get access for. Or get access to. Getting certain ports, the Japanese port. I paid hundreds, $200 for these games. If there was a service that would have streamed it to me, oh my God. That would have been so much easier for me. You have an opportunity to opine. All you do is whip out your Xbox, go to your Edge browser, go to google.com and play it. That's why I said I think it's a farce. If these games were on Xcloud service, the inferior cloud service, and it was on Xcloud only, the argument would be, well, I mean, I wish I could play it natively, but Xbox has it, so we're good. You wouldn't hear all this belly aching. It's crazy. Anyway, let's move on to to IGN, where IGN gives you the top 11 games that you haven't heard of, and you might recognize some of these games. So this one game is called Adios. I don't know what that is. It's on developer Mischief. There's this game called, what is this? Bonfire Peaks. Let's keep going through here. You're going to start noticing Elect Head. Oh, remember this game, Grime? Cloverbite. And guess what? It's only on PC and Stadia. Isn't that interesting? You got 100 Days, which is not on all consoles. It's on PC, Mac, Switch, and Stadia. Then there's Lake. Now, Lake isn't on Stadia yet, but we know it's coming to Stadia. Right? And I think that's it for the Stadia games. So a third of the game, so when you look at it, a third of the games just about that are on this list are also on Stadia. Stadia's been around for a little bit over 2 years. I don't think if a list like this existed when the OG Xbox, as great as that platform was, I don't think within the first 2 years, opposite of Halo, you wouldn't have. There wasn't a lot of quote unquote hidden gems, rather on that would have been considered on the OG Xbox. So this is a great thing to see. And it really is indicative of Stadia as a whole, really curating its content, filtering through it, and making sure that we are getting some great stuff here and it just isn't a lot of filler. You know what I mean? So what I think this says about the quality of the Stadia lineup, even though every single game isn't there, is that the Stadia lineup is solid. Very solid. There is the Metacritic tool. Shout out to the homie in LED. That when you're just looking at Stadia Pro and what's available on Stadia Pro, the average Metacritic on Stadia Pro is phenomenal. Let me see if I can find, let me see, Stadia Pro, counter. Oh, that's not it. Here, let me go to his Twitter account. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell? Go here. Let's go to the homie in LED. There he goes. Stadia Pro Game Monitor is what it's called. Take you guys to the dashboard. All right, let's do this. All right, so let's put this up here. This is the Stadia Pro Monitor dashboard. So if you were part of Stadia Pro since the 29 months that it's been available, you would have 135 games in your library. So that they've made more games available than Luna. I don't know how many Xcloud games there are right now, but 135 games altogether have been available. if you look at what's been available since the beginning, 29 months ago, the average meta is 76.8. And there's 60 games in here with an 80 plus meta. That means that you have games with over 1,423 hours needed to beat the main story alone, and a total retail value of $3,585. So here's what I want to do. I want to, let's just do since June. I mean, let's just do since January of 2021. See how many games are in Stadia Pro. Okay. All right. So right now, which is still amazing, if you sign up to Stadia Pro just in January, you have access to, just for those 3 months, you would have had access to 57 games. 76.1 would have been the average meta. Over 731,000 hours there, and $1,500 in value. Let's take away January and add February and March. 55. You see how that doesn't move the needle that much? So the reason why I'm doing this is I'm showing you that they've retained a lot of value in the service. And let's just do with March. This is amazing. You would have had access to 51 games. 75 is the average Metacritic. 20 of those games have an 80 plus meta. 609 hours of gameplay and over $1,300 worth of value. That's insanity. That's insane. You can't beat that with a stick. And the library just keeps growing and growing and growing. So hopefully you guys now better understand how much of a value Stadia Pro is, and hopefully the world is starting to see, even in these early years, how much of a value it is. Now, am I expecting a better lineup in 2022 than what we got in 2021? I'm going to say I think not. I think we're going to get this about the same. It's going to be slightly better because isn't Avatar expected out? Avatars or Division 2 Heartland is expected to be released this year. If any of those games come, I think it's going to be a better, even though I love what Far Cry 6 has as an offering. The fact that those games released at, what do you call that? At 30 frames per second. Nah, you're not going to, that kind of diluted what was available, or what, it diluted the power of those games on the platform. I'm going to heavily assume that Stadia and Ubisoft understands the importance that they have 60 frames per second modes, and that we have good looking 60 frames per second modes. Like, okay, maybe not exactly as good looking as the Assassin's Creed mode. Well, maybe it could be if the development toolkit works well. So what I'm hoping is that, okay, we might get a 60 frames per second mode upscaled from 1200p at least, but hopefully people are working to provide us better. One upscale from 1440p, 1800p. But if we get a Division Heartlands that's upscaled from an 1800p, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So I do think that 2022 is going to be a good year, a year equivalent to 2021, maybe slightly better. If you look at Ubisoft games, now that's if we retain EA. We got to retain the FIFA and the Madden games too. If we don't retain those games, then I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. but I'm expecting, off of no hard information I have on my own, but just, you know, just my random thoughts, I'm expecting that we're going to get a year similar to 2021. And I'm hoping, at least. You know what I mean? All right, with that said, let's go into our next section, which is, oh, what is going on here with my keyboard? You have to excuse it. Topic. I might as well do all these now. Topic. Come on. See, bear with me here. Bear with me here. All right, so and we're going to do around the cloud and talk about different things that are happening with the different cloud platforms. Let me close a lot of this out. You can close. All right, so let's start here. Very interesting thing. Something I was actually reading before I got here and we started filming is, what happened? There we go. NVIDIA makes free version of Omniverse available to millions of individual creators and artists worldwide. Now, what is the Omniverse? It's NVIDIA's version of the metaverse. You know, where this is the alternate ulterior reality place, space, where you can use everything from testing out manufacturing theories to playing games, all this other stuff. It's like an AI generated world. And they talked about in their presentation that, I think it was for GDC, but whatever, but they talked about in this presentation where they introduced the Omniverse, about how they're using it now with partners like PepsiCo. What PepsiCo is doing is they're making these artificial manufacturing plants in the Omniverse and seeing how the placement of the landscape, how they can improve it, like where they put their machines and robots and stuff, and then they through the Omniverse, they're running trials to see how fast things can get shipped out. And then what they're saying is, okay, can we do faster? Can we move this robot here, move that? So they're being able to test out likely world scenarios of what's happening in the manufacturing plants without having to use real manufacturing tools and stuff. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Hold on, give me one more second. Sorry about that. Give me one more second. We're going to. All right, we're all situated. We thought we had an emergency, but everything's been averted. We are now going to get back on to the show. So let's see here. What were we talking about? We were talking about this Omniverse and how it's being utilized. And the thing that puts this actually on the docket is, hold on one second. The thing that puts this on the docket is, it was mentioned during this presentation that GFN is, you can utilize GFN in order to access this, right? So how that would occur is, in order to access the Omniverse as a developer, to do whatever PepsiCo's doing, or to create a game, or whatever that you're doing, to build, the example that they use is for landscaping, use this artificially simulated, or not, Jesus Christ, not artificially simulated, artificially created world for landscaping. You have to have the RTX enabled GPU and certain NVIDIA hardware, or if you don't access that stuff because it's too expensive or too hard to obtain, you go and you get, you can access it through GFN to do rendering or participate in the Omniverse. So I found that interesting, and what I find most interesting about that is, what I find most interesting about that is that you don't have to have a powerful computer in order to do this powerful rendering or whatever the case may be. You can just use GFN. And that then brings everything for full circle, what we've been saying the last week or so. GFN, I feel, has wasted so much of its energy and its efforts in trying to compete with Stadia on the cloud gaming side, that they really cut themselves off from their biggest demographic. Simply put, people who cannot afford or who cannot access PC upgrades. That's it. That is it. This plug and play crowd that Stadia is appealing to is not GFN's demographic. You may have some spillage. I have PC people that prefer Stadia. I have plug and play people that prefer GFN. You're always going to have some spillage. But when you look at the pie, how it's sliced, GFN is more for PC. Stadia is more plug and play. You want to take little occasional pot shots here and there because y'all both use cloud technology, whatever. But trying to scrap and fight for scraps over here in this small niche cloud plug and play gaming space is a failure. And I'm starting to see that somebody there at GFN realizes that. And what they're saying is, we need to do better. And it started with an ad that I saw where, for the first time, really, you really start seeing them push that, hey, we are your best way to PC game. And now you're seeing the power of Geforce now being utilized to access the Omniverse, which is something great. I'm going to say this once and for all. I don't care where you prefer the game. GFN's most successful demographic, which dwarfs, well, don't be sour at me, Stadia community, it's just the truth. It dwarfs the plug and play cloud gaming community, is PC gamers, is disenfranchised PC gamers. I'm glad to see that GFN helps you access the Omniverse. I'm glad to see the advertising that they're doing. And I would love to cover GFN more. But no, I'm not going to stroke their mane or lick anyone's backside to get behind the scenes access or get information in advance. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you you're doing foolish when you're doing foolish. I've done it for Stadia and I'll do it for anybody else. But I will give them their flowers where they're deserved. GFN is bigger than cloud gaming. GFN happens to use cloud technology to give you access to things like PC gaming. That's GFN's best foot forward. We're starting to see signals of that with the integration of GFN to being able to access the Omniverse. It's a great way for you to game. most definitely if you are a PC gamer. And hopefully we'll stop seeing these trends of trying to disrupt the cloud gaming plug and play community, because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. So very interesting stuff indeed to see this from NVIDIA, Omniverse, and you being granted access through GFN. Very great stuff, and I highly recommend that you go watch the video. Okay. All right. Next up, AWS dev kit that I think, if I pulled up the right article, gives you access. Oh, well, come on. Oh, come on. My monitor's acting up on me. Will give you access to some Luna related things as well. So it says, whoops, what happened? It says Amazon launches AWS for games, dedicated products and services for the gaming industry. Let me see if we can find where the Luna stuff is. Luna. Okay. This ain't the right one then. But there were some Luna. Let me see here. Maybe I can find it. Let me go to Google. Luna toolkit. They were talking about an advanced Luna toolkit. Oh, Amazon Luna. Whoa. Luna toolkit. I can't believe that I don't have the link, and I wouldn't grab the wrong link. Oh well. Anyway, I can describe the information. It was Amazon Luna is coming out with new toolkits that'll handle things like UI, giving it a UI for games, giving it Messenger for games and achievements and things like that. And there's some other things that they're doing too, as far as some emulation or porting type things that they're looking to do too. Very interesting stuff, as it looks like that Amazon Luna is looking to rev up their game production. Now, one thing that I always thought was interesting, which kind of makes sense, is that I don't know if porting games for Luna is as easy as it is for GFN, but we know it's a lot easier than Stadia. But the thing that hampers Luna is that everything is in channels. You really can't buy things a la carte. And because everything is in a channel, you got to be cognizant of, if I add a new game and I get a new game ported here and we add it to this $5.99, if you're not grandfathered in $9.99 subscription, we don't want to go into overload, because we can't sell these games individually, because that's not what we do. So because of that, I think you've seen the Luna Plus channel just kind of be like at bay, because they're only in the United States right now, which hopefully they'll expand soon. But if they can get like more channels with different games in them and entice different types of gamers to access those channels, you might start to see a flood of new games hit Amazon Luna, which would be great stuff for the cloud and great stuff for gamers who probably wouldn't be able to access those games otherwise. I prefer the model of Stadia, where I can not only do subscriptions, do a pro service model, but I can buy games a la carte. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate what Amazon is doing. So I like the fact that they're addressing, or potentially addressing, some of their shortcomings, which is the UI. They have no universal UI, no universal messaging system, no achievements, and it looks like that they're going to be addressing that. All right. Last but not least, which I kind of was on the fence of even airing this, but because I saw the presentation yesterday and I went meh, and for some reason, I guess because it's a slow news day, publications started picking up on this. But Xbox has unveiled a new publishing division focused on cloud native games. This was a presentation by, I forgot her name, Swift. Kim Swift. Kim Swift was at Stadia for a while. I think she was working under Jade Raymond in one of her studios, and then when SG&E got dismantled, Kim came on board. And Kim talked about their ambitions as a cloud gaming group, or cloud gaming publishings. So here's what it is, y'all. It's a bunch of ideas. It's a bunch of ideas that are not in flight. They're going into flight. Meaning when things are in flight, it's an industry term that you got all your pieces together and you're building it. You're in flight. They're not even in flight yet with a lot of this stuff. They still got to do hiring. They got to get engineers, flesh out the pipelines. All this stuff is just preliminary, right? It's desires right now. But as we know, what Microsoft does is they put branding around desires, and when things don't go into fruition, they try to act like it never happened. Not to say that this won't happen. I think they're going to pursue this, but I don't expect to see the fruits of this labor until 2028, 2030. If I had to give a guesstimate, because just listening to that, they remind me of where I would assume that Google Stadia would have been at in 2017. If it was 2017, that's where I think Stadia would have been at. Probably 2015, maybe. Maybe I'm being too, but they don't have the engineers yet. And they're getting together concepts, and they know. Here's what they know. Here's what we know. That when you develop in the server cloud, the possibilities are hugely increased from when you design for a dedicated device. We all know that. And they all have server racks. So, but it's a matter of what are we going to build? What are we going to do? So as Google told you in 2021, I believe it was, during the DICE session, that they've been building and building and building for years, and they're in this place called the Valley. And they said the Valley is very scary. The Valley is scary because once the AI and the machine learning has taken you to a place to where you don't know where the capabilities are taking you on. So you don't know how to build for this thing. It took Stadia 2 years after launch to get to the Valley. And Stadia had their engineers and stuff presumably years before that. So it sounds like that on a more conservative guesstimate to a more, what I feel would be more accurate guesstimate, is on this front, even though Stadia stopped, Xbox is 2 to 4 years away from where Stadia is at now. Or no. I apologize. 2 to 4 years to where Stadia was at launch. Shout out. Oh, we got the homie Daryl Smock in the house. Smock, good brother. Good to see you.
Yo, what's good? I hope I'm not late. You said like 3 hours, right?
But we're about to wrap up. It's all right.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You said 3 hours.
Yeah, we went live at noon. Let me see. Hold on. What did I put in?
I must have got my timer. Are you still recording?
Yeah, we're still live.
So this is being recorded.
Hold on 1 second.
What?
I said 4.5 hours. So that was I said 4.5 hours. So I sent that at 7 my time.
That was 4 in my time. So I responded to you at 7, thinking the 4 was from 7.
Okay. Yeah. That's all right, brother. Well, you came in at the right time, right before we were going to game vibes. Let me ask you this question. We were talking about Xcloud game studios and how they're doing cloud native games. I watched the presentation that Xbox did. Did you watch the presentation as well? I
didn't know it was happening.
Okay, no, that's cool. Well, you didn't miss anything. You still have that time that you enjoyed. Okay. Yeah, because it was nothing but concepts. It was all conceptual. I would place it that they're probably at right now where Stadia was at 2017. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. So they're doing what, 1080p, 4K, barely.
They're not doing anything. Like, they haven't gotten the engineers together. And people that aren't familiar with cloud gaming, like how you and I are, they're probably going, "What? They could just whip that up." No, you can't. The engineers got to work. They got to work. Like Stadia, 2 years after launch, they were at the DICE event and they said, "We're in a scary place right now when it comes to what you can do as far as developing a game for the cloud. We're in a place called the Valley." They said it's kind of hard to know which way you're going to go or what the capabilities are going to be in.
Right.
So and I think that was a major contributor as well, because we forget about that. That was a major contributor as well on why Stadia maybe closed down SG&E, because they said, we're running this AI, this machine learning, and we don't even know what we're capable of. We could create a game that can do this in 2025, but then find out a month later that we could do 80 billion other things. Like, this is a hard place to navigate. They're not even there yet. So I estimate that you probably, the earliest you're going to see a cloud native game from these guys, from Xcloud, is 2028, 2030 maybe. So still a long time off.
Yeah, like 5-6 years. I see that.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not gonna really see much from them. So yeah, so that's it, man. We had covered the people going crazy over ease, and I put a challenge out to my friend. I asked him that he could come on and we could just have a thorough discussion about that. So I'll see if I'm gonna reach out to him behind the scenes to see if he responds. This is the guy that was upset. Good friend of mine's too. Good guy. He was upset that Ease 9 was on Stadia, wasn't on Xbox. Throughout a thread. Yeah, and people got him for that. We talked about IGN actually had a list of games that people may have missed but were good, and on the list were 3 games that you can get on Stadia. One being Grime, that the only other place you can get it on is PC. Grime, Lake, and I forgot. Oh, and the winemaking simulator. That was on there. We talked about NVIDIA. Go ahead.
I actually might want to play Ease 8. Well, Ease 9. Well, Ease 8, just so I can see how it is. To trying to to see how Ease 9 is.
Those were great games, man. And then
have you played them?
I played Ease 8. Haven't touched Ease 9 yet. I was thinking about getting Ease 9, and then I held off. I was like, oh, this is because it was like never on sale. I think it was always like $60, and I just held off. And now it's part of Stadia Pro, so you can't beat that.
Wow. So Ease 9, it been on Stadia then?
Yeah. Ease 9 been on Stadia since June. I think we looked at the chart. It's been on there since June. So I don't know how many months this is, but the contract probably was, we're going to sell this game for like 8 or 9 months, and then we'll put it in Stadia Pro. That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Luna got some new dev toolkits that they're working on where they're looking to add a messenger system. They're looking to add a UI to their games. They're looking to add achievements. So that's interesting.
So they're becoming more of a platform.
Exactly. Yeah, I find that interesting. Yeah. And then we talked about the vaporware, which is Xcloud, and their hopes and aspirations, but nothing's in flight yet. So
I don't see the thing about Xcloud that has me iffy on me not trusting it is like their whole thing is consoles. They're not really in. They're trying to get in the cloud, but it's the same thing to me with Luna. Like until they double down on what they're doing with Xcloud, it's hard for me to have faith in it, because like, why not just get an Xbox?
Yeah.
Like, it's really one of those cases, like, Sony has access to Xbox and Game Pass on PC. It's like, do you really need Xcloud? I don't want to sound like, I know it's kind of skeptical and everything about it, but it's like, you have to really promote Xcloud like they're doing Xbox for it to really be a standalone service, because other than that, it's always going to be an afterthought after Xbox.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm gonna take it a step further. I just don't have any faith in them. I mean, I don't. I've been dealing with them for so long, and this new regime, you hear so much talk. First it was, oh, it doesn't matter if we do cross-gen games. All you got to do is scale up. And then Phil here, Spencer said, no, we weren't being upfront about that. Then it was, well, when you build a next generation system, you got to have VR. And then they canceled the VR. And then it was, oh, Xcloud it's the retail version of Xcloud is gonna be out with the retail version of the Series X, and that never happened. I mean, it's just they always grandstand. I was telling this to a group of my friends who are Xbox enthusiasts in a DM, and they were, sending me like little funny gifts or whatever, like, who the hell do you think you are? But I told them, it's like Xbox loves the grandstand. That's it. They just grandstand. Like, even if you look at the Series X, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a horrible console, but they came out here with this moniker and grandstood all this time. It's the most powerful console. And here, when you look at Digital Foundry, they're split down the middle with the PlayStation 5 Digital, which is $100 less. Like, you made it sound like, and people were on podcasts with people, and these people were talking about there's going to be a 40 frames per second delta, meaning that on average you're going to get 40 frames extra on the Xbox than you would on the PlayStation. None of that came to fruition. None of it. Even Albert Panera, before he went to Luna, said to say, what are you going to do when the Xbox Series S is more powerful, that and it's doing more frames than the play? None of it was true. Mm-hmm. I'm just sick. I'm sick. I don't, Smock. I know why the Xbox people don't like me. I get it, but they gotta understand. I'm tired of Xbox's grandstanding since Phil came in. That's all they do. They make all these big promises. We can do this and we can do that, and none of it comes to fruition, including cloud. They're dead. They were the first ones that were talking all this stuff about the cloud, and now they're dead last in performance. Dead last.
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
It's crazy that that's not getting more attention. Like, they're announcing stuff, but it's like, it's not really getting a hype. Really. Yeah. I don't know, man. Crazy. They gotta really revamp what they're doing over there with Xcloud to get more people to make it seem more valuable to players. I mean,
and it's cool that they're making enhancements and things are getting better, but you're Xbox. You should have been atop of this. You should be the ones running neck and neck with Stadia. You're Xbox.
I was just thinking that. Yeah. They should be the ones. They should be Stadia's biggest competition, not Geforce.
Yes.
Like, Geforce is good, but Xcloud should be Stadia's biggest competition. It'll like, competition creates innovation. You feel me? So it's like, once Stadia actually has competition, then it'll make them like really come out with, even harder even harder than what they're already doing to like add new stuff. It's like, it's healthy. Competition is healthy for innovation and things like that.
And the thing is too, Smock, that's a problem, is that GFN being Stadia's biggest competitor is a problem.
Yes, because GFN is totally
GFN is a conduit to PC gaming. I don't think Stadia really cares what GFN is doing. They're waiting to see if Amazon or Xbox is on their level. You know what I'm saying? Because GFN didn't even realize this until recently, but GFN's demo is somebody completely different. Yeah. So what does Stadia do? I remember I was talking to somebody, were laughing, and they were laughing at Google about this. And I said, no. That's how much Google don't care about what GFN is doing. When GFN came out with the 3080 tier, remember Stadia up the direct stream to 1440p? It just went about their business. You know, that's how much they care about GFN. You know what I mean? And the proof is in the pudding, because GFN is not putting a dent in Stadia's demo. But you know who would? Luna and Xbox.
Yep.
So
that's 100% true. That's 100% true. You know what? Have you seen? I'm gonna go off topic for a second. Have you seen Sony? The rumors about. I mean, have you seen Sony saying that the PS5 digital and the regular they're gonna get variable refresh rates?
Yeah, I just see that.
Even for games.
Yep.
And it's gonna run for
Yes.
That is a feature I want Stadia to get in the future. That is a dope feature. That's stuff that Xbox needs. Over there, because I don't think they have that.
No, I don't know. I mean, but even what it is, when they do get it, its output, or its what it gives you isn't as grand as they made it sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be arguing with people, yeah, we got VRR, where's Sony getting VR? And Digital Foundry keeps doing these comparisons. Okay, then when you add the VRR to it, it's not that great. You know what I'm saying? And now you, like we said, Sony's coming out with VRR, and they're gonna be able to apply it to older games.
That is dope. That's a dope concept. Means
go ahead.
For a game that's not running 60 FPS, or a game that's not 4K 60, like the Crew 2, right? That's good for. I just like the Crew 2 is 4K 30. Once this hits, the Crew 2 is going to be 4K 60 for on their consoles. That is really useful. That is really useful.
My question would be, I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the codecs, but my question would be, I already thought that Stadia, I mean, it wasn't VRR, but I already thought Stadia had its frame doubling technology. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It does in a sense, because if let's say you're playing a game, right? And you start having internet problems. Instead of it just kicking you straight out of the game, it lowers the resolution and the frame rates for a second. And that's why it starts to get stuttery and jittery for a second. Nobody really likes it, but technically it is, but it isn't at the same time. Yeah, it's just applied differently.
Well, interesting stuff nonetheless. With that said, I just want Xbox to do better. I want them to do better, because I want them to put the feet under Stadia's fire. Put the fire under Stadia's feet. Yeah, because
I'm actually kind of worried. Yeah, because their games aren't doing too well. Like, I just heard that I don't know how true it is, but I'm pretty sure it's true, because I don't see anybody talking about Halo anymore. Like, people are saying Halo is seeing a massive drop in players, and that game ain't doing too good.
It's going to hell in a handbasket. Yeah, everybody that was sitting there praising, Halo is back, like 2 months later. And it's the same thing that happened with Gears. And I remember that. And again, people are going to say, you're just hating them in 2K. No, when me and one of my broadband bully brothers, Mansamua, when Gears 5 came out, and it launched, and we did a Metacritic show, because we swore we had got early access to the game, right? So we had swore that the game was going to be a 90. We were like, Xbox's first 90 game in a while. So we did a live stream, and when we did our live stream, we saw that the score was like 86, 87. Me and him were upset. We were like, what, man, what? They stayed jipping Xbox, right? This is Gears 5, so this isn't that long ago.
Right.
Fast forward a few months later, dropped just like this. Like, the Xbox games just don't have the staying power that they need them to have, and a lot of that has to do with, again, I hate to say it, there's a lot of grandstanding at launch, but there's not the supplemental content after the fact that keeps it going. You know what I mean?
What's even worse is Halo literally released the game incomplete. Literally released the game incomplete.
Absolutely.
Like, they released the story. There was missing a lot of content in the story. The game launched without a lot of features. It's like, why is this becoming the norm for games? Like, it's literally killing the gaming industry in a little bit. It's like players are frustrated.
Yep. Yeah. And that's their flagship franchise. I mean, I get that they got other studios making stuff, but I mean, in a year, just following Halo Infinite is going to be a blip. You had already had Horizon Zero Dawn drop, and then now you're about to have God of War drop the same year. I mean, come on, man.
I bet if Bungie was working on Halo, their game would be in a better place.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was but that. Oh well, interesting stuff. But I do want to see Xbox do better. People think I'm just hating on Xbox and all that. No, I want them to do better because really they're the only company that's going to make them and Luna are the only companies that are going to force Google's hand. Like I feel like I know that Google's doing stuff to correct some issues, but I feel like that they don't feel any urgency right now because nobody's really battling for their demographic the way that they are. And as soon as Xbox drops 4K or Luna does, if Luna does 4K, then you're gonna see them rev things up. But they don't have to right now. You know what I mean? So
that's true. Yeah, I feel like Luna may be a bigger competition than Xbox.
Yeah, oh yeah, they will. But yeah, I mean, just off the power of Twitch alone, and you may have a scenario, Smock, where Stadia is the better platform for gamers like you and I, for the average gamer, but just off the power of Prime,
Twitch,
and Twitch, that Luna's just bigger. You know what I mean? So you never know.
That's true. I mean, the YouTube is slowly taking more and more features that Twitch has.
Yeah.
Hopefully they integrate that more with Stadia. I'm pretty sure, I mean, they got to integrate YouTube more into Stadia down the line. They have to. It just makes sense. Like, they did the advertisement and everything for waiting in line, for the crowd play, waiting in line, clicking and playing the game and stuff like that and all that stuff. They just need to double down on those type of features for live streamers and, just work more closely with YouTube. I don't know. I mean, they probably are and we just don't know about it, but Stadia, if Stadia really wants people to stream directly from Stadia and be that like a main way to stream, I don't know if that's in their plans or not, but if they do, they got to work more closely with YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right. I think it's time to wrap up the show. We're a little bit over 2 hours. And you came right at the right time when we talk about Xcloud and got me all excited. All right. So let's talk about our game vibe section where we talk about what currently is our most excited game thing to play on Stadia. Or what game are you most excited to play on Stadia? What game are you most excited to see come to Stadia? What game are you most disappointed in on the platform? And what game would you like to see come to the platform? Meaning there has been no announcement made for the game to come to the platform, but you want to see it come. Something like an Elden Ring or whatever. But I'll start with you, Smock. So what game are you currently playing on Stadia that you're most excited about?
Assassin's Creed right now. I've literally been only playing Assassin's Creed for the past week. I haven't touched Destiny not once. It's kind of crazy.
Jesus.
For some reason, Dawn of Ragnarok really just fueled my interest in just, getting back in touch with Assassin's Creed. And it's honestly a really good DLC. It's honestly really good. So I've been playing nothing but Assassin's Creed. That's the game that I'm most excited about right now. That's on Stadia. The game that I'm excited that's coming is probably Ys 9 to Pro. I actually want to, since that conversation, I'm like, okay, I got to see what all this fuss is about.
Yeah, when everybody's getting, stabbing each other over.
Yeah.
The
last JRPG.
The
last JRPG that I played was Final Fantasy X.
Oh, wow.
That was the last one that I played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Don't tell me at launch.
Probably was because my brother had it, and then after my brother beat it, he let me play it, and I watched my brother play basically the whole thing. and then it was on PlayStation. So it was on PS2.
Okay.
I think it was on PS2.
PS2, yep, it was, sure was. Jesus, whew, that's a long time ago, brother. I remember when that game came out. My cousin came up because I had a PlayStation. He didn't. So my cousin, I ain't seen him in years. He was knocking on my door, and I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Oh, how you doing?" You know what I mean? And we're just sitting there, and I'm like, "You're here for a reason." He said, "Yeah, let me play this on your PlayStation real quick."
yeah. Those are the, you know what? Yeah. Those are the good days, though. You know, it encourages people to come over and chill and, you know. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Because I had a PlayStation at the time. I didn't even play it, but I wasn't letting people take it out of my house. I just, I only played it for, I played it for JRPGs too. So he knew for most of the time it would be sitting there, and he could, he went and bought Final. I said, well, how does this sound? You went and bought Final Fantasy X. You don't even have a PlayStation, so you think you're just gonna come over here and play? But but I let him do it.
Yep. That happens. That happens a lot. That's common. That's common stuff that happens.
Yep, and he was at my house same time after work every day for 2 weeks, until he finally beat the game. You know what I mean? And I just had my Xbox on another display, so good times. Good time. Yeah. What game are you disappointed in that you've played? And let's go all the way back to the beginning. If you can think of a game that you played and you was like, oh man, this just ain't for me.
You know what? It's gonna sound weird, but it's also Assassin's Creed Valhalla because
it makes sense though. I think
because it's this late into the cycle of the game, is still super buggy, so it may turn people off. Like I did a challenge. I don't know if anybody took up the challenge, but I was trying to challenge people to do the quest to get the Excalibur sword. It is literally probably one of the longest quests I've ever done in that, ever. But I was on the last step to get the sword, and it took me forever to find this last tablet that I needed. And I thought that it was a glitch, but it turns out that it was in my inventory the whole time, but I didn't get a prompt. Like usually what the character does is he gets it, he reads it, he said, oh, this thing is a mystery, I must be almost finished with the thing, because he's keeping track of how many that I have. And he didn't do that line, so I'm like, okay, I must not have it, So I'm like standing there trying to do, I'm like, yo, what's going on? I left the area, came back, I'm like, what's going on? So I had to get in contact with the devs. Get contact with Ubisoft support. They responded. They actually have a really good support system. I'm honestly surprised at how good their support team is. But they got in contact with me and everything. And like literally the next day I looked and it was in my inventory. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's what's up.
I guess I had it either they did something and put it there, or I had it the whole time and I never seen it. And then I did another quest line, the same quest. I had to kill 3 bosses after that. I killed the first 2, and I was looking for the last one. I knew that I didn't kill this last one because I was following a guide on YouTube that shows you where everything is. Because ain't no way. I'm gonna find that on my own. Like, you know how big that map is, bro?
That's crazy.
That thing is humongous. Yeah. And the final boss that I needed to kill, he didn't show up. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, and it finally clicked that I'm I don't know what's up with Ubisoft. I don't know what's up with this quest line, but it is super buggy, But I was on YouTube, I was watching the video, and the guy, after they was killing this thing, the guy was saying a line that I already heard from one of the bosses that I killed. I'm like, did I kill this guy? And when I was like, I don't remember being in this area killing somebody. So I'm like, I don't know. So it turns out that the boss that I needed to kill was already dead. And I needed to go somewhere else. Yeah. I'm like, bro, like I said, this quest is super buggy.
Wow.
But it's totally worth it. Like, the sword is really good.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, nobody wants to deal with that, bro. I got so pissed. I got so pissed.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I've been waiting here for 2 hours, and you're telling me, and I was live, too. I was waiting, like, literally, you see me running around trying to find this guy, and he's not appearing. So I'm thinking, the game must be bugged. And then when I search online, I see people from a year ago I was doing this quest that had the same problem.
Still had the same problem. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What is a game that we haven't heard about coming to the platform, but you want to see coming to Stadia?
Elden Ring, easily Elden Ring.
Yeah.
The community is really trying to get that game to
I know,
come, and
I
want to see it come too. I've never played Sekiro, but I will play this game because it's open world. It's open world. It has the things about Souls, and it looks like it's more user friendly than any of the past games.
The previous one, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks more inviting. So even though it's still hard, it's still Elden Ring, it's still the Souls game. I believe that that game would be huge for Stadia because people, everybody was saying, "Oh, Souls game is really niche." Not this one. This one. Literally, people you never expect to play a Souls game is playing this game.
Everybody, 12 million, 13 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're having fun. Nobody is really saying, "Oh, this game is bad." It's literally all good reviews. Yep. So yeah, this game has to come to Stadia. It has to. I know Stadia knows, bro. Stadia knows whether they do it or not. Whether they try to talk to them themselves or leave it up to the community, I don't know, but they know. Hopefully.
Well, I said that if Stadia isn't already working on it, or if Stadia isn't already working on it, I said if you guys can get that petition up to 10,000, that'll get some brows raised. Because if you do the math, 10,000 times $40 a pop, that's 400,000. That's enough for them, and then that'll send a signal that at least 10,000 people, want to play this game. You know what I mean? So
porting to Stadia just got easier.
Yeah, exactly.
It just got easier.
Yep.
But I do have a question. What do they mean when they say Stadia is no longer buying games anymore, or buying games from devs or spending money on games from devs? What do they mean by that?
Well, where did you see that at? That they're no longer buying games from devs?
I've seen. I think it was either on Twitter.
Okay.
It was either on Twitter or it was saying it was saying that Stadia is no longer spending money to get games to come to the service or something like that.
I think
you haven't seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. Was it something that they put out there today?
No. Stadia never said it themselves, but I'm hearing it from other people. I'm thinking I've heard it from people in the community. I thought that it was true, unless they got misinformation or something.
Well, I think what they're trying to say is that you remember when Jason Schreier dropped that report and it was like Stadia paid $20 million to get these two Ubisoft games. I think they're saying that Stadia is not doing that anymore. And I could see to where Stadia may not be doing it 100%, but I wouldn't say that they're not doing it at all. There might be some AAA developers, they're still funding games. They're funding indie games. That doesn't
make sense.
Yeah, they're still funding games. Yeah. A PlayStation or an Xbox, they're not paying nobody for the game. The people want, the developers want to be on the platform. But Stadia is not keeping anyone's lights on. So I think checks are still being written, but I just think that they're not being written in the 20 to 30 million variety like they were. So maybe that's what they're talking about. That's why I asked. I wasn't quite sure if there was something that was out or whatever, but that might be what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it might be that because they did mention how Stadia spent a lot of money for Ubisoft and Cyberpunk and all that.
Yep. Yeah, they spent money to get that stuff. I imagine they're not spending as much money, but I don't think that they stopped in entirety. So, all right, cool stuff. Real quick, mine's are the game that I'm excited that I'm playing right now is Division 2. Can't wait to get into some more of that. They had a great global event this past week and it was so much fun.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Oh man, it was cool. Polarity Switch, great one. The game that I'm most excited to see come to Stadia, of course, is World War Z. It's coming and it's coming to Pro. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
The game that I'm most disappointed in on the platform, I am going to say it is Watch Dogs Legions, because it's not 30. It's only stuck at 30 frames per second. I need my 60 frames per second Watch Dog game. I got to get that.
And the story isn't that good either.
Oh, it isn't. Oh, okay.
It's cool, but it's not like.
Yeah.
It's good.
You really don't hear about the game. Like, it's like going into oblivion. You know what I mean? So.
It's not. It's not. I don't even think they have support for the game anymore. I think they already stopped support for the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. And the game that I would like to see come to the platform the most. Oh man. It's still going to be Dying Light 2, but that. But then there's three more entries which I completely forgot about. Hogwarts Legacy. I want to see that. Man.
It's not a PS exclusive.
No, 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 that's coming to Xbox too.
I thought
and it's coming to the Switch.
I'm guessing Sony just has the promotion
marketing.
Rights
Yeah, they got the marketing rights. Yep.
Okay.
But it's coming to the Switch too.
Oh, okay. I swear I thought that was a PlayStation exclusive.
And it's coming to the Switch natively. That's what's crazy. So wow. I'm like, we got to get a Stadia port. Then there's the two Warner Brothers games, the Suicide Squad game. And that the Batman or the I don't know what you call them, like the Robin. Who is it? Robin, Catwoman, or Batwoman or whatever. That game. I want to. So it's. I'm gonna still say Dying Light 2. I want to see Dying Light 2 come.
Yeah.
You know, first things first. See that first, and then I'll be happy. So.
Dying Light 2. Yeah, that game is. I want that game. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yep. All right. Well, with that said, that is it for today's show. It's good that our brother Smock was able to join us before we closed out. Good brother Daryl Smock, can you let the good people know where they can find you at, my good friend?
Yes, find me on YouTube. I will be going live playing more Assassin's Creed. That game is
check it out.
Honestly, really good. Yeah. I also want to. You can also find me on Instagram, but on YouTube, youtube.com/SmockJuniorGaming. I changed my name I just put Smock Junior then Gaming, just so it can be more native. And then I'm thinking about starting a second channel, just for people to watch me. I don't really like the idea of having two channels, but I might do it. I might have to do it.
Yeah. All right. And you catch me here, StadiaDosage. Catch me on MM2K videos, and all that good stuff. And again, be on the lookout for our new Discord. It's gonna. As a matter of fact, the people working on Discord right now, they're working on Smock's section. They're trying to get Smock's videos added to as soon as it's ironic that we're talking about this. As soon as Smock goes live, you'll find it in the new Discord and some other stuff. So, definitely be ready for that. And don't forget, we're doing 2 giveaways. The first giveaway is going to be on Sunday with the return of the number show for Stadia. And we're giving away 7 cash prizes towards games. So nice. You definitely got to be ready for that. And then for our members, you're going to get what they call it, the Google Play and Watch bundle pack. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, you get the Google Chromecast with Google TV and a Stadia controller for our members. So you got to be a member before 11:59 p.m. Eastern today, or you won't be eligible for this month's draw. All right. So with all that said, shout out to everybody. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate love all of y'all. We're out. Have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace.